Good morning. It's time for Two Guys on Sports. I'm Larry Hazer.
I'm Dick Olson. Good morning, Larry.
Good morning, Dick. And, we got a special guest with us in the studio
she's
today.
She's been with us before, but it's always a pleasure to have her here. And now, really special trip she's going on. So
Yes.
I'm really looking forward to this interview. So.
Our own Neillsville gold medalist, Olympian Daina Shilts. Good morning, Daina.
Good morning.
How are we doing today? Oh,
I
a
am
smile
well.
on your face. You just can't get rid of it today.
I am wonderful.
You're heading off to the Special Olympics World Games in Turin, Italy,
Yes.
next week, right?
Next Wednesday, I'll be in the airport this time next Wednesday.
All right.
wonderful.
Heading over there, and you talked before the show. Your mom's going to be going with you.
She is, and she's so excited.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to have her come with me.
Now, normally when you go off on these trips, you're competing. But-
Usually.
But not this time.
Nope. And I've been to Germany, Abu Dhabi, Seattle, and Florida with ESPN.
You were in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
Wow.
How is that? I mean, I've
Different.
heard that's
Different.
something else.
Very different. It was fun. I loved it. I was in love there, but it's just so many rules you have to follow.
Oh, really?
Like, their
Okay.
culture is so different from ours.
Okay, all right. So again, you're going with ESPN as an analyst.
Yes.
So what's going to be your role? Take us through what's going to be happening once you get to Italy now.
So the first day, obviously, we get acclimated to the weather and to the time change and to the heightness of the mountains and stuff.
What is the time change, Dana?
They're 7 hours ahead.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
So
That'll be a difference. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, boy, yeah.
Abu Dhabi was a day ahead. So this
Oh,
is
that's
this
even
is
worse.
nice.
So when you go back in time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So this will be nice. The first thing I will be at is opening ceremonies, and I will actually be sitting next to Kevin Nagandi
Okay. Yeah.
and Jen Latta, who is from Milwaukee,
Okay.
Wisconsin.
All right. Now your role, you're going to be there the whole time,
Yes.
and your role is going to be as an analyst. So what kind of things are you going to be doing?
So I'll be interviewing athletes. Sometimes they have me do funny things, like in Seattle, I pretended to go under the long or high jump and did the long jump in pretty close. So they just have me do fun stuff like that. And the interviewing, like I'll interview athletes after they get their gold or before they get their gold. Wisconsin is sending a snowshoer, Annie.
Okay.
So I'm hoping to get to interview her, of course. But I'm really hoping to get to watch snowboarding, to cry that I'm not competing.
Now, do they use your expertise in snowboarding now as to use as an analyst, or?
Sometimes I've seen athletes switch to a soft boot setup, which is a normal snowboarding setup, to an alpine setup, which I am on. I've seen a lot of athletes who competed with me at the X Games switch to that.
Okay. All right.
So I'm pretty excited. I think I know one athlete that's going from Colorado. I competed against her at X Games. So I'm excited to see how far she's come. But just to see all the athletes there, and like they competed and worked hard and worked out to get to this point.
Now you
So,
competed in World Games.
yes, twice. South
Okay.
Korea in 2013 and Austria in 2017.
Gold medal.
Yes, in
Yes.
both actually.
All right. Yes. And now you competed in the Special Olympics Wisconsin Winter Games recently.
Yes, that was 2 weekends ago.
And I understand from what I've been told, you kind of showed off a little bit over there
Just
in
a
Wausau.
little. Came away with 4 golds.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And you were doing some stuff with the snowboard that other people were doing on skis, but you were doing it with a snowboard and kind of beating them downhill.
Yeah, we had the Bruce Mountain had the King of the Hill last weekend, and I was against 8 female skiers, and I got 3rd. So I was pretty
With a
happy about
snowboard.
that. Yes, with a snowboard.
And they were going with the skis. So, yeah, cool. All right, so you take off for Italy. You're over there. Do you get a chance to see the sights, or is it all work?
Usually they're nice and let me go around and see the sights. Like when I was in Germany, I got to see the Holocaust Museum, which
Okay.
was really
Yeah.
cool, kind of.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
understand a lot of it,
Yeah.
but that's okay.
Well, that's,
But Yeah, they'll let me tour. I'm hoping to go snowboarding there.
Yeah, really?
Making my mother go skiing, so
Okay.
we got to get in shape this weekend. So she's got to get her ski legs back this weekend. So
Oh, well.
Kind of troubling around here right now, isn't
Is
it?
the weekend enough?
I hope so.
Yeah, there's not a lot of snow
Yeah.
around here.
I hope they're still open this weekend.
Yeah. All right. So Italy is the place for the Special Olympics World Winter Games.
Whereabouts in Italy, by
Yeah.
the way?
So I'll be in Turin. I can't pronounce the other one, but
Okay.
Yeah,
it starts
that's-
with the S. It's
Okay.
Okay.
where we'll be staying in Turin for the opening ceremonies, and then this other place the rest of the game. So it's in the mountains. So
Okay.
I'm ecstatic for that. We like literally can ski right out of our house.
Now, is the studio up there too for ESPN? Is that all
So
right up in
they most likely will be based in Turin. Like that will be their main office, but then there'll be like little offices and like where everybody's competing.
Okay. And that's some of the places you'll go to
Yeah.
to do some of your interviewing and stuff
Yeah,
like that?
they'll probably have me go everywhere. To be honest, I'm gonna go anywhere they tell me to. I just do it to tell me to. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a good thing to do.
Yeah, anywhere there's athletes to talk to, you'll be at then.
So how do
Yeah.
they get you around then? I mean,
cars.
okay.
Usually they say what time I need to be there, what I need to bring, how I need to dress, how I need to look, and the cool thing is we have a hair and makeup artist. I don't have to do any of that.
There you go.
Wow.
All right. Yeah. Celebrity time. Celebrity time.
So,
So do you get studio time?
studio. I'll be in the studio for the opening and closing
Okay.
ceremonies.
All right. So otherwise you're on.
Do you know who you're in the studio with, or?
Kevin Nagandi and Jen Latta.
Okay,
yeah.
all right,
Okay.
There'll be one will be here, or
Okay.
one will be out to my right, and one will be to my left.
nice.
Cool. That'll be exciting to see you. Now, when will you be on? Now, when is the opening ceremonies?
Opening ceremonies are the 8th on
Okay.
Saturday. I do not know what time because of the time difference.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the only thing. A lot of times that stuff
Yeah.
goes in early in the
I
morning.
think you just got to keep watching your ESPN family of channels
Yes.
around here and
Yeah.
see what it
And
is.
just see what it is. Yeah.
And it most likely will be on ABC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
ABC.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's part of the ESPN, all owned by Disney, of course.
Right.
So.
Right.
And of course, I'll keep everybody updated on Facebook.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah. Friend Daina Shilts on Facebook.
Yes.
Get all the info.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
all the
So-
info. Well, we're excited to have you in here and
Yeah.
know more about what's going on over there
Yeah.
in Italy. God, that's going to be a exciting trip.
I'm so excited, and I give all the credit to ESPN because I wouldn't be doing any of this if it wasn't for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And they reached out to me 2018 for Seattle and never looked back. They
Yeah,
asked me for
wonderful.
Italy. They're like, "Do you want to come to Italy since you're not competing?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Let me think. Yeah.
Okay.
So do they fly you out there? You got a private jet and everything, or?
I wish. No. No, regular people airplane.
Oh, okay. I guess you haven't reached that high level
you
of
haven't reached
status
the
yet.
ESPN corporate jet yet. so-
All right. Well, thanks for coming in
Yeah,
again, Dana, and
appreciate
we
it.
Thanks
we wish
for
you
having
good
me.
luck over there.
Safe travels. Good
Yes.
luck, and we'll be watching. So.
Yes, thanks for having me.
You bet.
All right, Daina Shilts, Neillsville Olympian gold medalist, heading off to Italy.
Commentator. Someday we'll be sitting at this table probably. So.
Taking over my job. Thanks again, Dana. You can stick around if you want and watch us. We're just going to BS here for the next
20 minutes.
20 minutes. Yeah, by the way, the Special Olympics World Winter Games in Turin is the world's largest sports and humanitarian event. And it's more than 1,500 athletes, 102 delegations, compete in 8 sports in Italy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
All
Like
right.
I said, I want to go along just to try the pasta. So.
Yeah, yeah, homemade pasta in Italy. That's not out of the box. All right, well, we got something else big coming up this weekend, and it's called individual wrestling, state wrestling.
This takes off later this afternoon, Larry. You're down at the Kohl Center, and I don't know how many athletes are down. I think about 800 athletes down there. But this is a huge event in Madison. It's not like the state basketball tournament where it's schools going down here.
Right.
Here you got a zillion schools, and they all come. Some of these small towns shut down the towns for wrestling.
So they bring a lot of people from.
Places like Mineral Point, those places they have big audiences in that.
Oh, okay.
So it's
all right. So it's not
pretty
just
impressive,
not
you
just
know.
the wrestlers.
Yeah, and it's pretty much a sellout on Friday night and Saturday night. 18 to 19,000 people in there, so it's a pretty big night. But we've got close to 50 kids going down here from this area, Larry.
Wow,
so
that's got to be one of the bigger.
I think so, and a lot of it you got. Well, first of all, you got the girls.
Yes,
we've got more girls. I think we've got 8 girls going from the area, but the D3 teams, namely Stratford, Auburndale, Marathon. Stratford has 8 kids going. Marathon has 5. Auburndale has 5. Those teams are so strong this year in D3. So.
All right. Well, kind of look at the field. Where do you think some of the big ones are going to be?
Well, let's start off in D2. Abby Colby has a couple of young men going. Tristan Smazel at 126. Jacob Hoppy at 175. Neillsville Greenwood Loyal. Hudson Sebesto Opelt, 144. He's the number 2 seed. He will wrestle later tonight in a quarterfinal match, and he will wrestle the winner of Isaac Briggs from St. Croix Central and Trent Nobisfeld from Freedom. So he will have that match. I fully expect Hudson to be in the final Saturday night against Hakan Peterson from Dodgeville.
Well, we figure we kind of talked a little bit. They're kind of heads and tails above the rest of the field.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Hakan is undefeated. Hudson is at 48-3 on the year. So it's Hakan. Hudson wrestled him very tough last Saturday. Hakan got a couple of takedowns late and turned into a tech fall, but Hudson wrestled him very, very good, I thought, and anything can happen there.
Right. You bet.
Then we have Jake Luchterhan at 165. Jake will be wrestling Mateo Nabanek, and he is a senior from Sommerfeld in a 7-10 match, and the winner of that match will wrestle Stephen Klapowski from Denmark, a 47-2 junior. So, and from these preliminary matches, Larry, if you win, you go on. You lose, you're done. So if you lose a preliminary,
if you lose tonight, for instance,
in the first match, you're done.
Okay.
If you would lose in the quarterfinal match, you can go back in you will go back in consolation.
Okay. All right.
But you lose that preliminary match, you're done.
Okay.
And then Jackson Meyer, the sophomore from Loyal, at 285. Jackson is the A seed. He will wrestle Aiden Isaacson from Mondovia Leva-Strum in an 8-9 bracket, and the winner gets number 1 ranked Hunter Vanderheiden, a 55-1 senior from Freedom. So, and Vanderheiden this will be his 3rd year down there. So he's been on the podium the first 2 years. He was in 2023 when Gunnar Hoffman won it. He was number 4. So
All right.
He's a good, tough wrestler, and that is who I expect to be on top of the podium Saturday night in Division II heavyweight. So, unless Jackson Meyer can beat him. So,
all right. Well,
so
wish him luck.
Well, go on. Okay, let's talk about D1. We've got Marshfield with 4 representatives going down. John Sternweiss at 126. Graydon Rohde at 157. Caleb Denis, 175. Caleb's been near the top, and I expect him to be in a fight. I believe he's 3 seed, but I expect him to be. He was a runner-up last year, and I think he's going to be in the finals again this year. So.
Okay.
And then they also have Brock Coffey at 285. So.
All right.
So then at Wisconsin Rapids, you got the trio of Freemans. Jackson at 106, Landon at 120, and Carter at 138. And then you got the Tritz brothers, Aspen at 126, Carter and Kaler at 190. And then they also have a heavyweight in it, Tanner Gormanson. So,
how do you think those guys stack up pretty good?
I think
Freemans?
Kaler Tritz is going to be right in it, and I also think Carter Freeman is going to has a good shot at it.
All right. Okay.
Gormanson, the heavyweight down there is pretty well open in D1, and either Gormanson or Coffey from Marshfield could make a little bit of a dent down there. They're both pretty good wrestlers.
All right. Okay.
So let's go to D3 then, and we'll start off with Auburndale. Carson Weiler at 113. Derek Goddard at 120. This is Derek's 3rd trip down to Madison. Zayd Grassel at 126. Zayd has been near the top of the rankings all season at 126. Colton Weiler, 150, undefeated. I believe he's 54-0.
54-0, yeah.
And I fully expect him to be the state champion of D3.
Yeah, you've been talking about him all year.
Yeah, and I quite honestly, Larry, I think he's the best 150 in the state. So
okay.
And then they also have Carter Grassel wrestling at 175. Then we have Cadet with Caleb Lodo at 113. And then Edgar Lucas Stanky is wrestling at 190. Pittsville has Rayson Schooley going down at 144. Marathon has Taylor Underwood at 106. Blake Underwood at 113, and I feel Blake will be on top of the bracket there too.
He's 48-0.
Yeah, and he had one loss last year, and that was in the semifinals. So I think Blake will be right up there. They also have Cale Quaintance at 132, Levi Krautkramer at 138, and Swain Stencil at 144. Cornell Gilman Lake Holcomb has Tayden Angel going down. And he was a D3 sectional champion. I don't know a lot about him, but he is seeded second. So he's pretty interesting kid. And I'm not sure which school he comes from either, by the way.
I want to say that's it sounds like a Gilman name.
Gilman name. I thought I was going to look up their football roster, and I didn't have time to do it.
Yeah,
so,
that sounds like a Gilman name.
But anyway, he's been on top, near the top of the rankings all season at 215. So good luck to him.
You bet.
So. And then we have Stanley Boyd with two representatives down there. Aaron Sturm at 165, and then Willie Graham, 285. Willie's been towards the top of the rankings all season at 285, and fully expect him to be in the mix there for a championship too. So,
all right.
Then Stratford with their 8-man contingent. They have Colton Hopp at 106. The brothers Canoyer, Trenton at 120, and Colin at 126. Aaron Knetter at 132, nobody really talks about this kid, but every time when you talk about Stratford results for a tournament, Aaron Knetter was always the first place guy at 132. So he has quietly had a great season. I think he'll be right at the top of the bracket at 132. Then they have Matthias Kaiser at 150, Brandon Knetter at 157, Carter Leak at 190, and I think Carter will be right at the top of the bracket there too at 190 in D3. And then Drew Gage at 285, who's been solid all season for the Tigers. Last but not least, we have the girls.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start off with Auburndale. They have Jasmine Hebert going down at 138. Black River Falls has Riley Hannaran, and I believe this is Riley's third trip to state.
Okay.
And she is also at 138. And then they have Caitlin Noshbush at 145. Cadet has two young ladies going down. Izzy Sonntag, who's been a two-time placer at 114 and 107, 100. And then Tessa York at 120. And I'm sure Izzy will be right in the mix for a championship at 114. So, and then we go to Marshfield, and they have Ava Gardner. Ava was the defending champion, Larry, at 100 pounds last year, and she's up to 107 this year, and fully expect her to be right there again.
She is seated second at 107.
Yeah. Who was the first seed? I didn't see.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
No, I'm not that good at my memory.
Brooke Corrigan from De Pere is in 100 pounds. That's who she beat at the 100-pound title last year. So. But then Erica Slezkanow, and Erica is at 126, and Erica is still undefeated on the season.
Yeah, 32-0.
So she's having a great year. Regis Altoona has a couple of girls going down. Cassidy O'Connell at 100 pounds. Cassidy has been in the rankings all year at 100 pounds, so I think she'll got a good chance to be on the podium.
Okay.
And then Jalen Bowie at 126. And then finally, last but not least, Spencer Columbus Granton. They have Anna Becker at 235. So
all right.
So I think I got everybody in, Larry.
That's a lot of wrestlers. A lot of wrestlers going to state.
I might count 50, and it might be the biggest contingent we've ever had from this area.
I would say, yeah.
So.
And by the way, there's one senior girl that's going for her fourth title, which will be the first ever for the girls.
Yes. Yeah, a girl from New London.
Hallie Krieger.
Yeah. And then Madison Burns from Ashland is going for her third. And I believe Carly Chesker from Badger is going for her third, too. So
okay.
So
I noticed we still got Daina Shilts here, so
Yeah.
I'm going to give her the mic. Did you ever think about wrestling?
No, my brother wrestled, and I see what he had to sacrifice, and I wasn't ever big enough, and girls wrestling wasn't a thing when I was in high school.
Sean wasn't very big either, though. So
Yeah.
But he's got boys wrestling, too, now.
He does.
Yes, he does.
From Raw.
Yep. Yeah, out of Regis Altoona. So
Oh, okay.
Sean Schultz. So.
Okay, there you go. Well, I just had to get that in there and see.
Yeah.
That was everything you were interested in was wrestling. All right. The 82nd boys individual wrestling and the 4th individual wrestling
it
for
all
the
starts this afternoon with D1 and the girls. They'll do their preliminaries and their quarterfinals. And then tonight, Divisions 2 and 3 will do their preliminary and quarterfinals. The day tomorrow will be split between D1 and girls consolation, and then D2 and D3 consolations. And then tomorrow night, everybody's semifinals. And then Saturday will be the consolation semifinals and consolation finals. And then the big one, Saturday night, the finals. So formats. And it's just a sight to see the Parade of Champions at 5:30, and just a wonderful sight that I've been lucky enough to see live a few times. So.
And we may have some guys and gals from our area.
I think we're going to have plenty of people in that Parade Champions. So.
All right. So, again, it starts this afternoon down at the Kohl Center in Madison. Tonight, it's the Clarabelle Conference Boys Basketball Crossover Playoffs. And the third-place game tonight will have Loyal at Fall Creek. Neillsville is at Stanley Boyd tonight for 4th. You can hear that game on 92.7 WPKG, a rematch from earlier in the year.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see how many steps Neillsville has taken since they played. And they got a good warm-up the other night because they played a team like they're going to play. Durand, Arkansas is very similar to Stanley Boyd.
Yeah.
They got the big length in the middle, and actually Neillsville did a very nice job on the boards last night. I thought Caden Stride did a really nice job. But that Bates they got to do a better job of defending those big guys a little bit. So,
they're tough for that length.
Oh, man, that Bates plays like a 7'2" guy.
Yeah, their arms are so long that they can reach over everybody.
Bet. And he's a very good player. He doesn't really get in foul trouble that much either.
No.
So.
All right, the 5th-place game tonight will have Spencer at McDonald Central. Colby is at Cadott for 6th. Gilman at Thorpe for 7th.
Yeah, some very good matchups in 3 to 7. They're very good matchups.
The first and second place games will be Saturday afternoon at Stanley Boyd. The 1 o'clock game will have Columbus Catholic taking on Regis. That's for second place. Then the first place game will be at around 2:30. Owen Withey against Bloomer, and I tell you, Bloomer and Regis are pretty tough over in that Western Clarabelle.
And it'll be on. Last year when Bloomer played Columbus, they were so much bigger and physical, and you wonder if that's the same kind of team they're going to bring against Owen Withey, because Owen Withey is not that big, and they're not. They play physical, but they're not big.
Right.
I mean, they play Russ Weilerish and
get by with what they got, but they're doing very well.
But they don't have the big, strong players. And that was the difference last year in that game against Bloomer and Columbus. So, but it'll be interesting. So,
both those games on Saturday afternoon on 92.7 WPKG.
It's been a long time since that crossover has been in Stanley Boyd.
Yes, it is. Yes. It'll be a rockin' gym there on Saturday. One game in the Marywood South tonight has Marathon at Auburndale. Now, Auburndale lost to Stratford the other night, so both those teams are tied.
Yeah, this is
Stratford and
Auburndale.
Auburndale.
This is for the whole ball of wax.
Yeah.
So it's going to be
So we'll see. Marathon and Auburndale tonight. Yeah. And again, Auburndale and Stratford are tied for that top spot in the Marywood South. All right, what else we got going on here in sports?
Talk a little bit
action?
about the girls.
Okay.
They started their tournament play Tuesday. Well, first of all, let's talk about hockey first, Larry, because it's a pretty big deal. The Black River Falls Co-op defeated the St. Croix Valley team Tuesday night in the sectional semifinals 4-2. They are in the sectional finals against the Eau Claire Area Stars Saturday at Somerset. That is a big deal.
That is a big deal, yeah, because I think they're like the 5th seed or somewhere down there.
Yes, absolutely. So it's they're one game away from going to state. So
it's pretty exciting for them.
So, these girls. There's 3 girls from Neillsville, 1 girl from Neillsville, 2 girls from Granton. So, but I guess they're taking a bus from the area and going up there, and so it's a pretty big deal.
You bet.
5 o'clock up at Somerset. So,
okay. And Central Wisconsin Storm is also in the sectional semifinal.
Yeah, they're playing Hayward, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
And that one's at Superior. Short drive to Superior. It's not quite Italy, but it's Superior. Superior.
They should fly too.
Yeah. There are some games that happen.
Yeah, absolutely. So.
That are interesting. Regional semifinals tomorrow night for girls basketball. Nacita is at Neillsville in Division 4. Yeah, you can hear that game on 92.7.
Yeah, Nacita is 12 and 11. They're in the Scenic Bluffs Conference, which is Bangor was the champion there.
Oh, okay.
So, and they quite a few. Of course, Neillsville beat Bangor during the season. They lost twice to Bangor. Nacita lost to Pittsfield during the season, 45-22. and they lost to Greenwood 41-30. So some common opponents there.
Okay,
So,
all right.
So
And the winner of that one on Friday night would play the winner of the Luther-Stratford game
Yeah.
in a regional final on Saturday.
yeah, that's quite a travel for Luther.
Yeah. Well, I think I said about the boys. I was listening on the show they had the other day.
Yes.
I was watching, and Sparta goes to Shawano
Yeah.
in a first-round game in boys basketball. It's a
Yeah.
2-hour, 45-minute drive.
That's got to be a D2 game, huh?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So-
But it's all the way across the state.
Yeah, and D2 is hard to find.
It is up in this area.
Because most of it is down in the Milwaukee and over in the Fox Valley. So,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
But,
Interesting.
yeah, it's. I'll tell you what, D1, D2, and even D3, it's hard. You get some crazy matchups because a lot of times the teams in this area end up down in Alaska or Holman or someplace like that too. So
Yeah, I'm sure when they looked at some of these other matchups, Greenwood and Loyal
yeah,
matchup. But Division 5, you find a lot of schools around
yeah,
here.
and that's what we have in this area. We have
Yeah.
D4, and we have, I said, a little surprised with Neillsville getting a home game.
Yeah.
It's
7th
kinda-
seed.
Yeah, and so you win that one, you're going to make a trip to Eau Claire. So we'll see what
Yeah, the
happens.
boys will play Melrose Monduro again
Yep.
next Tuesday night in the first round of the boys state basketball tournament.
So we got some other tonight. We talked about the Neillsville game, but the other games in D4, Colby. I don't know what happened, how they beat Edgar, but
yeah, that'll be
That's
tomorrow night as the girls.
yeah. They are traveling up to McDonald tomorrow
Yeah.
night. So Cadott is going over to Marathon, and then as we talked about, Luther at Stratford with the winner playing the winner of the Neillsville-Necedah game.
But how about this second round matchup? Regis at Fall Creek.
Yeah.
I mean, they tied for first in the Western
that's
Quarter Belt.
I talking to people about that. I just don't think the Western Quarter Belt got a lot of love from the computer.
No, it didn't.
Because you have Fall Creek is a 3 seed and Regis is a 6 seed, and Regis is far better at least the Regis team I seen the other night.
Yeah, that's too bad. They got to match up in a second round game. One of them's going to be done.
Yeah, that is not right.
One of them's going to be out already.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but a lot of D5 action tonight. Prentice at Owen Withy. Gilman making the short trip up to Washburn.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow night for those games.
Yeah, tomorrow night. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah. Loyal is traveling to Assumption, so that's
Oof.
They've made that trip before.
I was going to say that's a nemesis of theirs, the old Loyal Assumption.
Greenwood. Speaking of sharing buses, they can drop. Greenwood's going to Elman Bancroft. They can drop Loyal off on the way, and then Columbus is traveling down to Pittsville. So
Yeah.
So some good matchups tomorrow. And in D1 tomorrow night, you got Holman at Marshfield, Rapids at Hortonville, Wausau West at Hudson, and DC Everest at Spash. So. And then we should mention Larry Sidney Supke finishing second in D4 in the three-point shooting contest. Hopefully the Warriors go to state and she won't have to worry about participating.
Yeah, the top two in each division
Yep.
will participate in that three-point shooting contest. And, if you're in the state field, you do not get involved in that. So there you go. What else we got going
I
on?
want to talk Diana Taurasi, who, in some people's mind is the GOAT of women's basketball.
And probably is.
Is retiring. And Diana has 3 NCAA titles at UConn, 3 WNBA titles with the Phoenix Mercury, 6 Olympic gold medals.
Yeah, she's the only basketball player with that.
She was she's won 1 WNBA MVP, 2 WNBA Finals MVPs, and 3 WNBA scoring titles. She was a 10-time WNBA All-Star and a 14-time All-WNBA team. So, and she is the leading scorer in WNBA history. So she is the GOAT, and she is hanging up her shoes. So
20 seasons.
wow, I remember when she was back in UConn.
UConn, yeah.
So she was great. So
Shows how old we're getting, right?
oh, terribly.
We got about a minute left. And we're just going to talk again as our GOAT from this area.
Yeah, the Neillsville's GOAT.
In Special Olympics snowboarding. Daina Shilts. How many gold medals do you have? Do you know? Right off the top of your head.
4, 5 World Games gold medals.
How about X Games?
10.
Wow.
That's a GOAT.
Yeah, that's Yeah, you're in a Hall of Fame somewhere, aren't you?
Wow. Again, congratulations on
Yeah.
being an analyst again for ESPN.
Yep.
Thank you.
Safe
Yeah.
travels over there to Italy.
And thank you for
Yes.
representing Neillsville the way you do.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Absolutely. So
Thank you very much,
Yeah,
and
and-
safe travels
Yes.
over
thank
to Italy.
you.
Yep.
She leaves next Wednesday for the Special Olympics World Games, Winter Games
bring us back some pasta.
in Turin. Yeah, some fresh pasta from Italy. That would be nice. That'll do it for Two Guys on Sports for this week. We'll have more wrestling results, I'm sure, next week.
Yeah, we're gonna have lots of prep stuff again
Yes.
next week. So
We'll talk to you again later. I'm Larry Hazer.
I'm Dick Olson.